Hey guys, and welcome back to another Alchemy Trading YouTube video here with Lewis Kelly, the co-founder and head trader here at Alchemy Trading. Today we're going to be going over some crypto, and we're going to be going over specifically Ethereum. And let's paint the picture, write the narrative of what we're seeing play out for Ethereum, what's happened, and more importantly, what's happening. So as we deep dive into this, we're going to start out on the weekly time frame and just understand where we've come from to understand where we're going. So understanding things from a structural nature, we're just going to start here around December 20th or December 21st, 2020, just to kind of understand, okay, when the bull run kind of took place, and then build a narrative from there. So we can see that we put a leg up with the first sign of the bull run into around $2,000. And from $2,000, you can see that we pulled back around 37% for our first pullback. And as you can see, just as we put in the new high, the demand level that put in that new high came from this sell to buy candle right here. We mitigate this, and then from this low down here at around 12.96, we go and put in our new leg up to our high at 430.75, which is a 237% increase, and that was our new leg. And our new leg had come from the this leg up, the mitigation of this demand level, push up back into supply, pull down, and then the final demand stroke that led to this huge bullish momentum. So that came from our only unmitigated demand level, which was here. And we know then that once price was edging up into these levels, at some point price was going to come for a pullback to mitigate levels and then continue. Price did exactly that, and everybody remembers the huge crash in 2021 summertime, where we did drop around 62% back into mitigations of this level. So on the lower time frames, when we were seeing certain criteria take place, we was able to pull positions out of the market because it was very clear that we were coming back in for a weekly pullback, and the weekly pullback was likely going to take place in here. So once we get inside of this level, we can go back down to the daily and 4 hour and understand, okay, when do we see the reversal take place? Once we see the reversal take place, we can start entering positions back into the market, and if those criteria come out, we can target this high up here, because pretty simply we have a swing low right here that put in this swing high. Once this swing high comes and puts in these lows, once we have our change of character, then we can expect that this high here is weak, because this high failed to break this low. Same here, right? This low put in this high came back, put in these lows, had a daily change of character, and then went and put in a whole new leg to the upside. Once we got into around these prices, and the thing is here is, as price came back down to mitigate these demand levels, a lot of people were actually starting to sell when they should have actually been looking to buy, and they were actually buying when they should have been looking to sell. Very interesting how these markets work for retail traders. So then we can see, okay, well, our levels of supply inside this wick and a lower time frame. If I drop down to the time frame supply level, if I drop down to the daily, for example, there'll be some sort of supply in this region. Yes, it's there. Even on the 4 hour, maybe it's more clear. Yes, so on the 4 hour specifically, price can be refined down to this area. First change of character takes place here, mitigates that, and then so this overall area, both of these levels, there was rest in supply waiting to be mitigated. As you can see, we tap into our first supply, give some reaction, break out the first supply zone, and then mitigate our second supply. And our second supply is the origin which ended up leading to this breaker structure down here, which shown that we was reversing back to the downside because we had our change of characters. So refining that supply there from a weekly down to a daily and to a 4 hour, we can come back out into the weekly and understand, okay, let's paint the picture again. So we know that we mitigated some supply. That supply ultimately ended up creating the pullback that we've seen. Once again, a lot of retail traders probably thinking, you know, market's crashing again. Well, market was crashing, it's 34%, but realistically price was just pulling back and it was inevitable. We can see we have in here the sell to buy candles on a lower time frame once again, probably be represented by a demand zone. That's just a sell to buy candle that shows there are resting orders in that level. Yeah, so it's this candle here. Demand unmitigated in our wick. And this essentially ended up leading to the new higher high being put in, right? Price had retraced, pulled back 50% of the leg. For me, when price pulls back 50% of its overall swing leg, then that's considered pullback complete and it can go and put in its new high. But not to forget that, of course, we do still have levels of supply, levels of demand down here at the origin, right? The main level of demand. So when price went and put in a new high, and certain confirmations had occurred on the weekly time frame, we'll go down to the daily to really show you guys what did happen. Daily is the main time frame that I use to clear everything up. We can see that the high here that's put in is put in from this level of demand here that was mitigated, put in the high, then broken. So once that demand level was broken, that's our change of character. Price change character to the downside, showing us then that there's a possibility that price can now pull back into the weekly from our unmitigated supply level in here, right? And you can see that we mitigated our supply, put in a new low, then that supply left a new supply, and it's just a supply chain throughout the whole, just a supply chain then through the whole leg down. Our next supply mitigates, breaks the low from here, and we still haven't reached that level yet. We're making our way up there. This essentially being the origin that broke our low down here also, and the actual supply level that did break the low came from here, that broke this low, came from here, was mitigated, tagged into our weekly demand. Out of our weekly demand, we needed to see this level get broken. Once this supply level got broken, that was the confirmation I was waiting for to actually re-enter the crypto market. Once that was broken, change of character up, that told me, okay, well now, from a order flow structural perspective, we can very clearly see the order flow can resume in its pro-trend bullish nature. And so yes, I missed this move right here when we tapped in, could have had buy orders set there, and yep, 64% was missed. For me, I'm happy to miss that, because here's one thing. First of all, it's not going to be 64% that I end up missing, because I'm going to be entering on the pullback now. Since we've changed character, I had a break of structure. Now it's very clear to see that the ETH is having its pullback. So having buy orders set in these areas, demand at the origin of the leg that caused it, having buy orders set from around 2670 and 25.4. I'm expecting now the price could begin to sell off back down to these regions. We've had a change of character, order flow shift from the demand that put in the high, so it's very possible that you could see said things happen, right? That's essentially the outlook that we are looking at for Ethereum, pretty much. Expecting the weekly highs to probably be run. It's probable, it makes sense, everything aligns. Still not mitigated really the weekly level. Price will come back in and mitigate this weekly level up here, which is what I marked down, just refined to a daily. There will definitely be, as price comes back into this region here, there will be a mitigation of this. Once this mitigates, there will be some pullback for sure. So expect a pullback anywhere around kind of 3,700 to like 3,900, between those $200 range. Expect a pullback, probably back into some weekly demand. If we get the criteria, it'll take out the high, and then at that point, I'm just expecting should be a pretty clean run for around about $5,000 Ethereum. That's kind of what I'm looking for. That's the outcast for Ethereum. Hope that makes sense, guys. Please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you want to see any specific video, please let me know. Don't forget to hit that like button. Help us boost our engagement and reach the masses. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Everything helps. Really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.